Hello everyone and welcome to a very nice game that pretty much just finished from the Tata Steel India Blitz section. It is Nodirbek Abdusattorov versus Arjun Erigaisi, and here we would have to say that Nodirbek is the favorite to win this, even though he has a lower rapid rating as he is the world rapid champion. But this is an incredible tournament with 10 incredibly strong players, 5 Indians, 5 non-Indians, and anything can happen. But this is Blitz. In the rapid, however, Nodirbek didn't do so great. Out of the 10 players, he got 7th place. The tournament was won by Nihal Sarin with 6.5 points, and Arjun here won 2nd place with 6 points. Nodirbek in 7th with, basically shared 3rd to 7th with 4.5 points. But this is Blitz, so let's see how they did in this one. It's a wild game, and so many lines could have gone differently, but you just don't have time to analyze them. We have e4 by Nodirbek, and Arjun goes for pawn to e6. The French defense is on the board, and of course, whenever we show the French, you know that is going to be a good one. We have d4, d5, pawn to e5 going for the advanced variation against the French, and now c5, striking against white's center. Knight to f3, we have knight to c6, and now bishop to d3, the so-called Nimzovich system. Bishop to d7, we have castles, and knight g to e7. Now this is a new move. Usually your options here are basically c captures on d4, knight captures, or you advance this pawn to c4. But Arjun thought, let's try something tricky against Nodirbek. In this one, he played knight g to e7, and it is now already as of move 6 that we have a completely new game. So here, rook to e1. We have c4 now, forcing the bishop back, but luckily rook to e1 was played to make the f1 square available for the bishop. We have knight to f5, knight to c3, and now you don't want to allow white to dislodge this knight from f5 at any point, so pawn to h5. And once you see this, you can see why it's so tricky to play the French, and why it's so tricky to play against the French. Look at this beautiful knight on f5. What opening do you play to have such a beautiful knight already on move 9? I mean, it can't be dislodged from there. It's just a spectacular piece. So here, knight to e2, and now bishop to e7. We have knight to g3, and now Arjun starts the attack. Pawn to g5. And how do you counter this? Knight captures on f5. This has to be played. E captures, and now pawn to h4. This is a very good reply by Nodirbek. Now if g4, not just knight g5, and the knight is very well defended there, and it's an excellent piece. So after h4, g captures on h4, grabbing that pawn. So it ruins Arjun's pawn structure a little bit, but you got the semi-open g file for the attack, so it's all good. Bishop to f4. We have bishop to e6, and now pawn to b3. Now Nodirbek has to figure out how to open up the center, and he will do so by countering the c4 pawn with the b pawn. Rook to g8, we have b captures on c4, d captures, and now rook to b1, going after the b7 pawn. So queen to d7, and now pawn to c3. Now white has a very strong center. But still, it's a question how to actually do something about it. Black has a very nice control over the d5 square. b7 is defended, and it's just hard to find a way through for white here. Bishop to d5. This is now a beautiful bishop going after that g2 pawn. You know that black can always castle queenside. He can double up on the g file. The queen can enter the game, maybe queen e6, queen g6. So white has to figure out something here. Rook to b5. A very nice rook lift by white, also putting pressure on that bishop. You constantly have to check if rook will capture bishop, as there might be some tricks in the position. We have rook to g4. Arjun also finds a very nice rook lift, and now bishop back to h2. Here you could go for rook captures on d5. It's because black's position is so powerful that this might be the way to go. And now after, okay, your bishop is still attacked, bishop to c1, and now once black castles to bring the rook into the attack, you go knight h2, attack the rook. Once the rook goes back, you play queen captures on h5, and you might find some some counterplay here. You do have the semi-open b file, you do have the very strong center, you've slowed black's attack a little bit. Now the light square bishop no longer exists. It's still better for black, but white will be able to play this. However, in the game after rook g4, bishop to h2 was played, and now Arjun castles queenside, and here rook to e3. And rook to e3 is not the greatest of moves. There are many ways you can go about this, but there is one that just completely gives black a winning position. So feel free to pause the video and try to figure this out while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on finding the winning idea. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is knight captures on d4. It was not played in the game, but now that you see it, of course, it makes sense. The rook on b5 is undefended, and now there really isn't all that much to do. If white throws in a nice in-between move, you throw in a nice in-between move with check as well. So basically, the line is knight captures on d4, rook captures on d4, first before recapturing on b5, c captures, now queen captures on b5, and there's just nothing for white to do here. Black is just so much better. Whatever you do, let's say you attack the queen, queen c6, now the queen and bishop are on this diagonal, the rook is coming to g8, the pawns are marching forward. There's just no way to stop black's attack here. But okay, Arjun finds the next best idea, pawn to f4. He probably was thinking about pawn to f4 all the time, and then he just didn't spot that the rook here was undefended. Rook back to e1, as the rook really had no place being on e3, and now rook d to g8. Here knight captures, or even bishop captures on f3, followed by knight captures on d4. Again, the rook is undefended. You can take advantage of this this way, but rook d to g8. Arjun continues playing his game, and king to h1, just nicely getting away from that g file. a6 chases away the rook, even helps white in a way, and now rook captures on d5. You don't really have a good way. If you go back rook to b1, just h3, and you can resign here. There's really nothing you can do. If you capture g captures on h3, then this opens up. The g file is now open. There's really nothing. You don't even need to rush it. You can just go back and enjoy your position. I mean, disgusting for white. So after this a6 move, rook captures on d5. Nodirbek says, all right, this is not even an exchange sacrifice. I mean, that bishop was much stronger than that rook. Queen captures on d5, and now pawn to a4. We have bishop to d8, shifting the bishop into the attack as well, and queen to e2 now, hoping to get a queen trade in with queen to e4, knight to a5, and now rook to b1. We have bishop to c7, and now rook back to e1. Nodirbek repeating moves, not still ready to go for that queen trade. And now king to b8, improving the position of the king. Rook to b1, we have king to a8, and now rook back to e1, and rook to g6. And now you really have to go for queen to e4, otherwise you know that rook to g6 is coming, and then a nice rook lift. Probably over to b3, going after that weakness c3 pawn, and queen e4 is, well, the only thing left for white. It was not played in the game, but just to give you an example, captures, maybe rook b6, going for b3, for b2. Black is much better, but maybe white can defend. However, in the game, knight to g1 was played. Nodirbek offers the g2 pawn for some counterplay, but it's very, very hard to play this. Rook captures on g2 was played. Now you can't recapture because of checkmate, so you have to play knight to f3. Now, okay, the rook is hanging, but just rook back to g4. And black now just enjoys a fully open g file as well. Queen to e4, offering a queen trade, but Arjun shows that he can trade this and still be better. Captures. We have rook to b6, now trying to go for the c pawn. Rook to e1, and now rook to b2 first, going after the f2 pawn. Bishop to g1 defending, and now rook to c2, going after the pawn from behind, stopping rook to c1, and now d5. Giving up some material to start advancing those pawns. Rook captures on c3, pawn to d6 now. Bishop to d8, and now knight to d4. We have bishop to b6, putting pressure on the knight here, and knight to f5. We have h3, and now bishop to e2, attacking the rook. Rook to g5, attacks the knight, and knight to e7. So can white advance those pawns, or is black just unstoppable? In the game, rook captures on e5 happened. Rook to d1, putting the rook behind the passed pawn, but now just rook captures on e2, grabbing that free bishop. Knight to d5 now with a double attack on the bishop and the rook here. Rook to d3 and knight captures on b6 with check. King b8. We have rook to c1, and now rook captures on d6. We have pawn to f3 by white, rook to c6, and now you could also capture the knight here, but I know you guys forgot about our good friend the bishop on g1. So rook to c6, and now rook to d1. We have rook c to e6, doubling up on the e file, and now rook to d8 with check. Nodirbek tries one last trick, because if you go to a7, it's possible to forget about the bishop. I mean, it is possible. Then rook to a8 will be checkmate. However, in the game, king to c7 was played. We have rook to d5 now, saying, okay, you capture my knight, I'm going to capture your knight on a5, but rook captures on b6, and he was in this position on move 50 that Nodirbek Abdusattorov resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. The problem is, if you capture the knight, and if you don't, you're just down too much material, rook to b1, and you're getting checkmated. Nothing to do here. Whatever white plays doesn't really matter. Just rook to g2, and the next move will be checkmate. So yeah, after this wonderful rook captures on b6 move, Nodirbek resigned, and Arjun takes the lead in the Tata. This is a game from round 1, so he won a very nice game, and he did win second place in the rapid section. So now starting with a win in the Blitz definitely will go a long way. So we'll see how it goes. I will try to cover a few more games from the Blitz section. If you have any favorites, do use hashtag suggestion, and I will go over them. So yeah. That's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Very nicely done, taking down the world rapid champion like this. I would like to thank Stefan Trifunovic, Andrej Shrade, Mitsotaki Gamiese, Zoltan Sarkadi, and Eric Adams for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of the Tata Steel India Blitz until it finishes. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.